Some mornings you get up and you think, oh, what am I doing and why am I here? And other days it's just like, come on, we've just got to do it. It's about getting up and just taking that step. And over time, those steps count. And that's important.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Kay Newton. Previously, episode 752 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been just 2 years, 11 months, 23 days, 6 hours and 30 minutes since we last recorded that conversation.
Firstly, just take time to truly listen from your heart to the conversations you're having. And secondly, listen to your own inner person daily. And I call that sensibly selfish times.
That was then. This is now. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. I love that. That was such a good timing. I'm going to have to write that down.
Well, it's such a grand opportunity, I tell you, my friend, to jump on these conversations and just, it's like a relay, right, from our last conversation. So what's new? What's the update? How are you doing?
Wow. What's new? We've only got 12 minutes. It's impossible. So since we last spoke, I've left Zanzibar and we've sold our big house here in Mallorca, downsized and moved to a 2-bedroomed house by the beach. But we're back in Mallorca.
That's great, though. So Zanzibar is not there. You were having a ton of fun there, though. I'm sure you did have a ton of fun, right? Let me ask the question. Did you?
Yeah, I know. We had a ton of fun there, definitely. It's missed in many respects. But it's also, we've still got the sea and the beach, so we're not complaining at all.
Yeah, it's a good trade, right? So what about the speaking? Are you still speaking?
Yeah, I'm still speaking. I haven't done too many events recently, a lot online though, and a lot of podcasts. Really love doing podcasts because it means I can still keep my pajamas on and stay in my comfy home. So podcasts are really good nowadays to get your message out there. I love doing those.
Yeah, so let's dig into the books that you've done. Is there any new book that came out since we last spoke?
I think there's 3 books of my own that came out since we last spoke, and 6 more that I co-authored with my friend Pat Duckworth.
Yeah, Pat always makes it into our conversation, right?
She's always in our conversation. Yeah, she's a big part of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So what topics did you go for? What did you write on?
So I wrote one on the fact that I downsized. So it's called Tips and Tricks for Stress-Free Downsizing. So it's based on my experience. I wrote another book on how to clean your home organically. And I wrote that because I used to have a cleaning company. I became severely allergic to chemicals. And I thought it'd be good fun to put that into a book whilst I was sat in Zanzibar by the beach. And then another book I wrote was called Midlife Stress Busting, 7 Steps to Declutter Your Mind Without Pills and Potions. And that's like a mini 7-day workbook that you can work through just to help you focus a little bit more on yourself, to be sensibly selfish.
Now, being on the beach side, are there any retreats that's happening?
There's a tentative retreat possibly towards the end of September 2020 time. We're just talking about it at the minute. I've got a group of experts helping me with my 5-day Midlife Mojo Challenge, which launches on Monday. It's going to be in my Facebook group, Midlife Strategist. And we're all so excited about sharing our experience in that actual challenge that I think we'd all love to be able to put together a retreat and have some ladies come and join us here in Mallorca. So cross fingers.
Yeah, I would think so. Now, it has to be that there's a mental side that keeps you grounded in the midst of all that you're doing. Writing 3 books by no means is an easy task. Even writing 1 book, like even getting past the manuscript, right? So what is the thing that keeps you grounded, the way you are grounded going forward, setting these goals and achieving them, Kay?
It's something to do with the passion, isn't it? Something to do with the energy force, the life force. Not always. Some mornings you get up and you think, oh, what am I doing and why am I here? And other days it's just like, come on, we've just got to do it. This message needs to get out there. People need your support. Even if you just write 1 sentence today, that's the sentence that's really important. And I think I sort of really learned that lesson only 2 years ago. I don't know if you know, Angel, but there's a walk called the Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage walk across the top of Spain. Starts in the French Pyrenees and goes all the way over to Santiago de Compostela. And I walked that 2 years ago. I think it was 729 kilometers over 34 days. And in that time, you learn all about the fact that it's about getting up and just taking that step. And over time, those steps count.
Yeah.
And that's important.
That's beautiful. I was explaining to my wife while I was referring to what I've read in the Bible that talks about after God created man, that he would walk and have a conversation in the cool of the day. And I'll tell you, Kay, like we were talking about that probably like 45 minutes ago, if so much, right? That there are two powerful things in the creation of who we are as humans, which is one, and we both love it, right? Conversation. And the second, walking. And of course, we walked this morning, right? Like we did like about 6Ks this morning. And would you agree, though? Do you think that's accurate? The walking and the conversations, two powerful principles.
Yeah, I love the concept of walking. You know, people say to me, how do you do meditation? And, you know, I do like to sit and do meditation, but my best meditation, my best time, even if I've not got someone to have a conversation with, is the conversation with myself.
Yes.
You know, when you walk in, that's such a great time to be able to say, okay, so we've got this problem, this thought, this query. Let's expand it whilst we walk. And just giving yourself space to do that is just amazing. And the answer always comes.
Now, you've been married for 28 years, probably 27, 28 years by now, I'm guessing.
27 years, yeah.
All right, cool. So this means that there is someone on the sideline that's helping you as well. How much has your decisions impacted what's going on right now?
Yeah, it's an interesting time for us because my husband James had just come back from working in Zanzibar, and whilst he was there, he hit that wonderful milestone of 65. In the Western world, it's the thought of retirement. We're not ready for retirement. We don't think we're 65. We think we're still 25. But we're coming to a different stage in our lives, a different thought pattern. We talked about this just now, about time. You know, time becomes important at this stage. So you only want to be doing things that you really want to do. And, you know, it's an exciting time to think about what we want to do differently. James has been back since the end of July. So we're still in what I call the new honeymoon phase. We haven't really decided on really what we want to do. We're just enjoying being in the moment.
And of course, there are two boys, one similar to you and one similar to him. How have they evolved?
So Max, my oldest one, he's still working on super yachts and loving it. He's actually on leave at the minute, but heading towards the Caribbean, heading your way very soon for the season. He's loving surfing. So at the minute, he's in a wetsuit on the Portuguese coast catching waves. More him than me because it's absolutely freezing. But he loves it. And my oldest one, he's graduated now. He's got an MA in engineering and renewable energies. Walked out of his qualification in, let me think, where are we now? September. And got 2 interviews and walked straight into a job. So we're really, really happy for him. He's going to be helping Nottingham County Council become the first city in the UK to be zero emissions free, which I think is fabulous.
It's beautiful to see that the fruit hasn't fallen far from the tree.
That's true.
So you both have farmed and you've done so much with your lives, planting seeds, and now the harvest is here. When you look at the value that comes with the conversation of the possibility of death, how do you interact with that? Is that something you put on the back shelf, or is that something you interrelate with daily?
I don't know about interrelating with daily. On a personal basis, yes, daily, in the fact that, you know, this is, I think it's the Native American Indians who have a wonderful saying, today is a good day to die. And I think if you wake up with that in mind, that today could possibly be your last day on earth, what do you want to do with it? Where do you want to take the day? It becomes really, really important. Death for me is part of life. And it's a conversation that we in the Western world don't have so often. I've just written an article. I write a regular monthly column for a magazine in New Delhi called She, and I've just actually interviewed a lady on that, and her speciality is death, and particularly writing an end of life plan so your family know what you want, you know, if it happens. And I think that's a great thing to do for everybody. So my plan's done.
Okay, where can someone that's listening connect with you?
You can catch me on my website, which is knewton.com. Very simple.
Very
I
simple.
love using Facebook. You'll find me on Facebook most days.
Okay, I want to say congratulations because, as I said before, right, and I'm listening back to my podcast and I'm saying, oh, you use the same words so often, but I need to find some similes, right? And probably some synonyms. But it's just that this is really a great pleasure, my friend, to connect with you and hear how what you've been doing has evolved. More so, your life, your journey speaks to the truth that never giving up and following after your life dreams, your passion is true in that it is possible and you've done it. And that's beautiful.
Anything is possible. We create our own reality, and Angel, you know that. I admire you as well for what you've done. I'm always keeping my eye on your family growing and all the things you do. So you've done the same. You've created the reality that you want. You've made moves, and it's fabulous to watch.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And of course, amazing audience, again, you can check her out at knewton.com. Kay, my friend, this was such a great pleasure. Again, before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Just come and get in touch with me, and then we can share lots. We can have great conversations just like this one.
Kay Newton, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.